So the Swarmer nerf is finally here. What did they do to this tower, and how does it affect its performance? There are two perspectives on this. If you just look at the stats, it was absolutely butchered. Each Swarmer now only stacks about 30 bees per tower instead of 150. So the total amount of bees that could be stacked on one enemy was reduced from 6,000 to 1,200. A massive nerf to DPS. Also, the damage was reduced by 1, making it 3 instead of 4, which doesn't sound like a lot, but originally it could do a maximum of 24,000 DPS. And if the bee stack wasn't nerfed and it was just reduced to 3 damage, it would still have a DPS of 18,000. But that's already a minus 6,000 DPS. But now, you can only have 1,200 bees on an enemy, so the total DPS you can now have on an enemy is 3,600. And over 20,000 DPS reduction, which sounds insane. That's even worse than what they did to the Gatling gun, when we all thought minus 500 DPS was a lot. But this is just going off from what you could see in the stats alone. I decided to see what physically changes with it, as I wanted to see if there was a change in the tower's performance. And in my opinion, I didn't see much at all. It still felt like the old Swarmer, even already knowing the fact that it was nerfed worse than the Gatling gun in terms of DPS. 40 Swarmers were still easily able to deal with all the major bosses in the game. They even still managed to kill the Void Reaver. Granted, it was on a very easy map, but still, the 3,600 DPS is still a lot of damage for especially the weaker bosses like the Molten Warlord and the Fallen King. And I think this nerf was mainly just to make it less viable for the challenge game modes like Polluted Wastelands and Pizza Party and Hardcore, because the devs didn't want everybody soloing their cool modes with one singular tower. So in conclusion, the nerf on paper is really massive. However, in practice, the Swarmer is still, in my opinion, one of the most overpowered towers in the game still. Sure, it's not 24,000 DPS, but if you bring in a Fallen and use Swarmer as a support tower, you can easily overpower the mode and maybe even do very well in Hardcore and other modes. It's probably not going to be very good on the major bosses, but that's really depending on the map, not the tower itself. And I think there's still a very small possibility of it getting nerfed again, but the devs said themselves that they still want to keep it somewhat OP for the game. And what I personally think is the changes they made to this tower were perfect. It's still very overpowered, but it's not 24,000 DPS overpowered. I'm not seeing any changes to physical performance, while they still technically on paper nerfed it from what it could originally do. But what do you guys think of the nerf? Let me know in the comment section down below your opinions, and while you're at it, make sure to like and subscribe this video to catch more videos of me. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers almost. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.